My name is Kimberly Garcia. I graduated Wakefield in 2015, and this is my UMG story. After high school, I went to the University of Mary Washington. I studied there for 4 years, and now I'm working at a nonprofit that provides direct legal services to low-income immigrants in primarily the Northern Virginia area, but I'm doing advocacy work through them. I'm the daughter of an immigrant. My mom came here about 30 years ago, so she's been here a long time, and really has had that whole idea of the American dream while she raised her kids as a single mother. So I think throughout my whole life, I kind of knew that I wanted to go to college and that was kind of the next step after high school. I actually, for a long time, didn't know that there was an option not to go to college until I got to like 8th grade. And so my mom has always kind of been, the one who has provided for me financially and just has always been there for me. I have a younger sister who's now also kind of going through that path of wanting to go to college, and my brother didn't go to college, so I was the first one in my family to go to college, graduate from college, and then now in like the real world and like have a full career. And so like I was saying, my mom has always wanted me to go to college, but she never really knew how to help me. And so that was kind of where I felt like I was falling through the cracks of, well, what do I do next? And a lot of my peers whose parents did go to college knew how to provide that kind of foundation of, okay, well, you have to start studying for the SATs, you have to start taking the SATs, you have to apply to these many colleges, we're going to go on tours. Like, my mom didn't know that that's what you had to do. And so that's kind of where, UMG came in and really saved me and provided that path for me to go to college. United Minority Girls Group provided so much for me. First of all, one of my best friends was in UMG with me, and so that was always nice to have someone to go. And we're still best friends to this day. And meeting Mr. Beitler, who is really like that father figure. And it's funny, and I think a lot of people say that about him, especially when you don't have a father figure, having someone who can provide that guidance for you and who really wants you to succeed, I think was so important as a high schooler. And it also just provided, a sense of community. We were all kind of in the same boat. Like, a lot of us were first generation going into college. A lot of us were children of immigrants who just wanted a chance to, make it in this world and be at the same level as our white peers or other peers who have had the opportunity to be mentored by their parents about how to kind of go about the college process. So it provided a sense of community, and you didn't feel like you were the only one. And you were sitting in a room full of other intelligent women who, were just as capable as anyone else, but lacked the same kind of things that I lacked, where their parents didn't know how to help them, or some of their parents didn't even, encourage them to go to college. So I think that UMG just provided that sense of security and that pathway of, you can do it. Like, just because your parents didn't go to college doesn't mean that you can't go to college. Just because you're a minority doesn't mean that you can't go to college. And even though, Mr. Beitler is a white man, and he has always been very loving and very supporting and very, just very enthusiastic about our work, even as high schoolers. And he reviewed my college essay with me, he cried with me, and just having that support was very important during those times. Support systems like UMG are very important, especially for high school students when, you're 17, 18. You're still a child, your brain is still developing, and there's so many obstacles in your life at that time. Some of them aren't as important anymore, but at the moment they seem so important. But to have, and then on top of that, add the stress of going to college or what you're going to do next when everyone around you is talking about where they're getting in or what they're doing. And that just kind of adds another stressor onto your life, aside from being a woman in the society, aside from being a minority in the society, being first generation, children of immigrants. Like, there's so much in your life that's already going on, and college is so stressful, and the application process is so stressful. So to have that support system here in school, and it's not something that you have to figure out how to get there after school or anything, it's during school time, it's during your lunchtime, they provide lunch for you. So it really does become this support system that's just so needed in a society that many times is telling you you're not enough, you don't belong here. Whatever way that it may be, whether you make a donation to UMG or you'd like to become a mentor, especially if you've been through this process, giving back is so, so important. And I'd like you to put yourself in these students' shoes and remind yourself of what it was like being in high school and going through this stressful college experience. Take yourself back a few years and what was it like for you sitting there, and what would you like to have seen differently so that you can do that for others.